so responses. So what responses is basically a feature that allows you to create forms and surveys. So forms and surveys, why? It's because it's the same concept. Both require you to fill out some forms, fill it out, and at the end you get either a result that you want to print, send by email, or you could actually see survey results. So let's again, we're going to be in my instance to give you some examples because there's a lot of data inside. So we're going to take an example of a incidents report that we file every time there's an incident. For example, in my company, well, we file a report for that. So that's example of a type of report, but it can also be a questionnaire for when you interview employees, when you or it could be something about a client update form, or a client status form, or a you know, anything that you want to have your customer input instead of having to collect it manually with a pen and paper, or to get it by email or whatnot. So it's basically allows you to gather data for your customers or new customers. So we're going to take an example here. So a questionnaire interview process. So I've set up basically an interview process, and I'll give you the end result right away to show you exactly what it looks like. So that's the questionnaire. So, you know, you can have some normal fields, you can have a date field, you can have some drop-down menus, you can have some text box, and the text box you can actually, you know, put it in bold, put some writing, pictures, tables, because you really can insert anything you want. You want to insert a picture, you could actually go Google and type sun, let's say, go here, image. And you want an image of a sun, you go here, you copy the image address, and we could actually add it here, sun. So I'm going fast, but just to give you an example of what you could do in the forms. And then when you're done, you click OK. Then it shows you the confirmation form, you do confirm, and then you get the information of the form that's filled out. So the person that fills out could be your customer, because you can send him the link of the form, or you could fill it out for him in front of him while you're while you're with the customer. So basically, whoa, sorry, this last here. Okay, I'm gonna just put the screen a little bigger. All right. So basically, you could print it out, put it as a PDF, and then save it somewhere, or you could actually send it to your customer. But what's the beauty of this is that when this form is filled out, it actually gets displayed here. So you just refresh the page and you see this is the form we filled out. So we could go back and edit the form if we want and put some information. You go back, we save it, and then the information is updated. So what's even neater than that is that right now I'm going to assign it to another company. I'm going to assign it to Sirix, okay? So the form has been assigned to Sirix, and I'm just going to see if I have the option here. Again, this allows you to display which column you want to display in your field. So it's fun because sometimes you can display all the data that you want to have a quick overview of what's been written in the answers. So we're going to go into Sirix. Oops. Form responses are here. So basically, these are all the forms that got filled out by Sirix. So there's gestion d'incident, gestion d'entrevue opérateur, and this is the one I just filled out. So as you can see, this form, since I had assigned it to Sirix, well, now when I go in the Sirix file and folder, it's there, as well as all the other things that got filled out from Sirix. So there was some incident and stuff like that. So so that's how this form works. And if you want to go, for example, if you would want to see if it would be a survey, let's say, well, you could go here and see the statistics, and you would see basically all the statistics of the answers that got filled out. So for example, if you have a survey that you send out to all your customers about the quality of service and this and that, well, when the survey is filled out, see there's 15 answers, so there would be, let's say, 300 answers, and you would get the statistics of everything that got filled out by everybody, so that you can have an idea of what the percentage and whatnot is. So that's something that's also interested. And all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now how to create a new form, okay? So we would go in responses, manage custom forms, and then you do add custom form. So we're going to name this new client information form. All right, so we have a new client information form. Where did I put it? Put them in order. New client information form. So we're going to click on it, and we're going to go ahead and design our actual form. And you're going to see this is like a magical way to get this done. So we have a drag and drop system that allows you to do whatever you want. Okay, so let's say we start by putting a simple text field here. We're going to put a second one. This is going to be first name, last name. We're going to put company name. Then we're going to put a phone number, office phone number, a date of birth. We're going to put a rich text field for the address, let's say. Check fields. I'm just going to show you a different couple of examples, and then you'll understand a little bit more what we're doing. Select field. Okay, that's going to be enough for the example. So you press on the little pen, and then you select first name. Whoops. Whoa, I'm hitting the actual. I keep hitting the keyboard here. First name. Last name. Company name. That's going to be cell phone. Sorry, my keyboard is so cell phone. I keep hitting the outside of the box, because as soon as you hit outside the box, it disappears, and I keep hitting it with my mouse. Cell phone, I'm just going to call it, hey, come on. Office phone. This is going to be birth date. Address. So let's say we want a large address box. Okay, this is going to be checked. Okay, so we're going to ask, are you married? And the other one is already a customer. Let's say just anything, doesn't really matter. And select field is this is a field box that allows you to have multiple choices. So what's the type of product are you interested in? So we're going to put type of product here. Anyway, I'm putting anything anyway, it doesn't really matter. So we're going to go ahead and save. So now the new client information form is done. We're going to go to the public link, and we're going to say, okay, we don't want to assign it to anybody. We're just going to send that out to all our customers, and We don't want to set a link expiry because the links can have an expiry date. So let's say you would want to do a survey and the survey is only valid for 1 week. Well, you could select in the box until the 1st, and then the link, when they clicked, it would not be available after that. So we don't want a date, but we do want to get notified by email every time somebody fills out this form. So we click notify about new responses. I'll click on OK. You can either copy the link to your clipboard to send it by email, or you can actually open in a new tab, which is what I'll do. So this is our new client information form. So you can fill out a form. Extension. No extension for this. Birth date is, let's say, 18. And the address, we can put the address here, it's not a problem. So that's the checkbox, you see? So we click on the checkbox, type of product, insurance. So we click OK, this is done, we confirm. So first, the customer knows that he's filled out, he can print it for his own records, and then you will also receive an email regarding the form that was filled out. So we're going to continue on with the demo, and in a couple of minutes, what I'll do is I'm going to go to the email and I'm going to show you the email that came in for that. So gives you an idea of how fast. And what's fun is you could actually go back to the responses here and new client information form. You can do the public link. You could also copy, as I mentioned, copy the link here. So it's copied to the clipboard, and then you could actually open up an email. I'm just going to go into share. I'm going to share my email software just so you see rapidly. So we could go here. See, look, we just got the email saying that new client information form was filled out. If you click on it, it gets you to the page where you filled out the form and the answers were filled out. So basically, that's how this link works. But I'm going to show you an example of, because I copy pasted the actual form, and you could just go ahead and send an email to your customer and paste the form in. That's the link that it gives you. So when that person would click on this, it would allow them to fill out the form. So that link is applicable to anybody that wants to fill out the form, or you want to have them fill out the form, and you can set up as many forms as you want. And as you can see here, there's a form here that got filled out 594 times. So you see all the responses here, and you can actually sort the, like I showed you before, departure time. You can add as many fields as you want to show you the fields that were filled out, and that's it. So there's a little tab that you can browse from one to the other. You click on it, you see the information. So you can go back in history since day one and get all the information that got filled out by your customers or your prospects, or it could be also a form that is added on a website, because this link can be added to a website. So so I got the form. I'm just going to click on it and see. So so that's it. So what's fun is those forms are integratable, like I said, in a website. So you can add that in your contact page on your website. So when people fill out the form, it goes directly into your system, and then it goes directly to your customer. Because as I mentioned before, what's fun is that you can go back in the form and then assign it to the contact that got filled out. So because at the first, when he fills it out, he's not necessarily a customer, but once he does become a customer, well, you can just assign it to the right customer. So let's say we want to assign it to myself. I do OK. And then if you go into the file of that I just assigned it to, well, you're going to see that the form is assigned to this one. So the data stays in the records. That's what's fun. And you can add as many as you want. And there's a history of everything that gets done. So that's something that's pretty valuable for data gathering, and mostly for integrity, because this is on the iProsper platform. It's secured, encrypted with 256-bit, and it allows you to respect the compliance of the industry that you are in, whether it's the insurance business, the financial business, and whatnot. So I think this is a very important part of our system, and it's something that is also going to be evolving with time and with keywords and all that. And you will also be able to use automated tasks so that you can set up, for example, an automatic email that gets sent out with a specific form every year to the customers to have an idea of if they like your service, like confirmation that everything is good with the service and stuff like that. So your imagination pretty much is the limit of what you could do with that. So that's pretty much it for the form section. It's called responses, but you can actually rename it to whatever you want. We're going to cover this also in the next part right now. So we're going to go ahead and go into the administration section and go through this section because we've went through pretty much the rest. So in the administration section, we have a couple of different links. So the instance management. This is where you configure your instance. So you can add the logo of your actual instance. And why this is there is you could use it for documents, for invoices, and stuff like that. You can put your address. That's also used for whatever you want to print and invoices, stuff like that. Invoice start, invoice information if you want to add the specific notes on your stuff. And what is the default language of your instance? So when users get signed up, what is the basic language by default it is? You can set no preference and they will just set it up themselves. And even if you say French, they can still set it up as English and you use your French. So the instance is completely customizable to the user and not to the instance. So that's pretty straightforward. The appearances, this allows you to customize the name of your menus on the left. So the original name is written here, and then you can change it on the right. So this is written contracts. Well, we can rename it contracts, let's say save. And then automatically it saves it here. So what's fun is that if you want to call the organizer, you want to call it, I don't know, clients and prospects. You just call it clients and prospects, and it's named like that. So we don't impose whatever name you want to name it. So that's basically something that's pretty neat. I'm going to leave it the organizer. I've been used to that, so I keep it like that. Email. So this is where you configure the email configurations for your system. So it's very, very simple. Basically, when you want to send out emails from your system, you need to validate what your email address is. And we've made something really cool with Amazon where you just enter the email you want to use. So let's say it's franco@gmail.com, for example. And then you click verify mailbox. They'll send you an email. You just click on the link and automatically from that point on, anytime you send an email with your user and from iProsper, it will always come from that email address. So I know that, the company that manages the compliance for the financial industry, they've started talking about imposing that people need to be using the email address from the actual representatives. For example, if you're with Peak, well, you would need to send your email from Peak Group. So that would allow you to do that. So it respects the compliance level of the financial and insurance industry. So that's something pretty cool. And when it's done, it writes here that it's verified, and then you get the date of verification. So you can confirm that anytime you send an email, it's going to be sent from that email. Email templates, this is pretty neat, and that allows you to basically set up all your templates, your email templates that will go with either your automated tasks or manual emails that you want to send out. So let's say we have a disciplinary, here, you see here I have an avis disciplinaire. So if I edit it, you're going to see that the subject is called confidential avis disciplinaire. What type of contact is this sent to? It's sent to contacts, and then what the message is. So bonjour, and then I would put the variable first name space last name comma. So bonjour Daniel Cyr, voici une lettre, non, vous avez été pris à ne pas respecter les règles. Maintenant, merci. All right, so that's a template, so I save it. So if I want to send out an email to Daniel Cyr. I basically, from anywhere in the system where you see an email address, right here, you click on it, it opens up a box, and then you choose which template, avis disciplinaire, fills it out all for you, do preview just to be sure. Bonjour Daniel Cyr, vous êtes repris. I do OK. I do send. Email sent successfully. I go in my mail history and I see the history of all the emails that I sent. So this is super efficient. What's really great about that is that you're not stuck always having to rewrite the emails. So let's say you would want to create a template for something that you send out all the time, but that the data in it varies. Well, what you could do is you can actually you can actually write stuff, and then you just put here like this, and then so let's say this is your template. The X is the variable that you will always change. So we save the template. So what's neat is that you can go ahead and click on the email, and then you choose your template, and then you just go fill in the information, special information added, so that you use your base template as the base email, but you add whatever information is needed. See, I got the email I just received the email actually that I just sent myself. So that's a really good way to, first of all, have some integrity in the emails, meaning that you don't do mistakes. They're always in the same template, always in the same form. And what's fun also is that the templates can include backgrounds, and actually in a couple of days, or maybe 2 weeks from now, something like that, we'll be releasing a new feature about that, and you'll be able to choose some default templates that we've set up which allow you to have like a really nice layout with a background color and your header, company letter, letterhead and footer or logo, and you just fill in the blanks and you choose the template you prefer. But we've used some really professional, simple but yet professional emails, so that when you send it out, your customers are like, wow, this is amazing. He's using a really nice template and it looks good and just makes it all look better. So all templates are managed from here, and anytime you manage a template, you can also put it in full screen so that you have more space to do that. So so that's that for the email management. Billing, this is your package, so that's how you manage your package. So this I think we have went through this before. It allows you to basically select which fields in your system are searchable from the search engine. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, a couple of fields. So the responsible name, the company name, the phone. So if I search for a phone number that I want, so let's say I take 514. I didn't put in my phone number, I think, but I'll just give you an example rapidly here. Oh yeah, but I didn't put in that format, that's why. So if I search, oh, you know what I'll do? Even better. I'll search 1111. Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't check the right phone. I was checking the phone in company, but I had to check the phone in contacts. So I'll just refresh that and write 514-664. Whoa. Okay, something's not working. Did I do it right? Oh, I didn't put it in phone. I put it in secondary phone probably. So I'm just gonna check all the phone fields, that way I'm sure. Phone, secondary phone. I'm gonna go back in my account just to be sure I did it right. Cell phone. Oh, snooze. Okay, so I'm gonna search for this phone instead because I didn't even check. I checked phone and secondary phone. So let's say 514-864-1474. Yeah, that's the right one. So now it's gonna work. 514-867-1454. See, it gives me the result. So basically, it's pretty simple. It allows you to basically search with the search fields that you allow to search through. I'm going to remove them because I don't need to search through that. All right, so that's it for instance settings. Users, this is to allow you to set up your users. There's two ways to add them. You can put first name, last name, email in as rights, or you can actually add by email. So you would just choose the rights, write the email address, and then the person will have a welcome email. He'll click on it, and then he'll have to fill out his information. So this is the really quick, simple way. In this section, you can edit the user, set as owner. You can disable it or delete it. So it's pretty straightforward. Invitation, that's to allow you to invite people to use iProsper with a different instance. So let's say your sister, she's really, you think she would be interested in using iProsper. So you can go here, you click on add, you write her email, and the invitation message is already pre-configured. And what's fun about that is that if you're set up as a reseller and you do that, well, we'll be able to manage your referrals and you can get some kickbacks on that. So that's pretty much the reason why this was set up. The access management is a section that allows you to configure the different permissions that you want to allow to the users that are set up in your system. So we have for now like 5 different roles. We don't really use them right now in this instance, so they're not really set up. But I'll give you an example. So we want to add a new role called let's say admin employee. You don't want to have her manage the instance, so we don't check that. But you want to have her manage the organizer section. She can edit and view. You don't want her to allow to edit your products and services, but you want her to view them. Same thing with contracts. You want to have her edit and view documents, as well as responses, as well as tasks, and only view the block of hours. So as of now, we have a new access management group that's called admin employee. And what happens is that we can set it as the default. Right now, it's the operator, that's the default. So when you go in your users and you add a new user, well, what you're going to do is you're going to select admin employee, so that user only has the privileges that you've set up. So this is interesting sometimes when you have employees that you don't want them to be able to edit anything. You're able to do it this way. So basically, that's what this access management feature is. So if you don't have her access to the block of hours, well, she won't even see the menu of this and this. If she has the view access, well, she'll be able to go in it, but she won't be able to edit. She'll be able to log time, view it, but not edit. So that could be pretty interesting. The automated tasks, we went through that in another previous session. Basically, it's you can manage the automated tasks from here. This is where you see them all, and you can actually edit them and see what the description is. So it sends an email to the contacts when editing. This is for this company, this company. It's just a couple of basic rules that are set up in our instance, and you can go ahead and edit them from here directly. So the customization is where you would customize your forms, your fields, and the filters. So this is very neat, I find. So the form is basically what we went through just before. Sorry. Customizing the forms is all the forms that you can see throughout the system. So there are the products and services, the categories, the companies and contacts in the organizer. So we'll go ahead in products, but we'll go very fast. So if you go into the products here and you want to add a new product, you're going to see that there's a name, description, cost, retail, category, code. So let's say you want to sell your services and you want to describe them. Well, you'd be able to go here, go to customize form, click on product, and you can add as many fields as you want. You can add your logo on top if you want. Just add let's say that's the logo. So you can add pictures and all that. So when you're done, basically what it does is that it just allows you to basically customize the product entering. See, I put a big picture, but gives you the idea of how you can customize any form that you want in your system. I'm gonna remove this because we don't really need that. It's the same drag and drop basically feature as we have seen just before. So for products and services for you guys, it's not really important. So we'll go ahead in the company. So in the company, you see all the fields that I've set up in the company. So when you want to go in the organizer and you want to add a new company, same thing as contact. Well, those are the fields that I've created for my business. But those fields are all customizable, and I've set them up by different section, as you can see. So this is suivi et vente. That's all the section for sales. That's all the sections for procedures, and basically on top is the basic information. So so let's say we go back in the forms, we click on contacts. So you can add as many fields, and what's fun is that at the bottom we have some form layout fields that allow you to basically add titles. So you can add, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this new section. And then you can add a spacer, and then you can go ahead and add all your fields underneath. So we save it. So when you go back to the organizer now and you want to add a new contact, well, we now have the new section that we've created. So as you can see, very fast, very efficient, and this is what we talk about when we say customizable. So we can actually you can actually add as many fields, drop downs as you want. So when you go in your client file, you don't have just this address information. You can add like a lot of information that's valuable to you, that is important to keep in your system. Because don't forget, these all the fields that you add can then be used in a document that you're going to create, in an email template, or in a form response. So it becomes very dynamic in terms of the information that is exchanged between your customers and yourself, and also the data that you're gathering. So we'll go ahead and delete them because we don't really need them. So as you can see, it's pretty simple to set up. All right, so this is done. Save that. So basically, this is what it is. It's the same thing for contacts, companies, product categories, and products. And there's also the custom forms which we've created here. So those are the forms for these sections, and then there's the custom forms that we've created from the responses before, such as the one for the new client information form. And then there's the customized fields. Okay, this is the most complicated part of the system, and when you mean complicated, that also sometimes means that you are able to do more with it. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little example. So let's say you have a customer, you have customers, and you have, I think I have a good example. Insurance companies. Okay, so we're going to add a new custom field called insurance company. Okay, so what is there to an insurance company? Well, there's the name of the company. I know you don't understand right away, but it's going to be okay. So we're going to be having the contact name, the phone number, and an email address. Okay, so that's what we need for now. Is an email. So let's say email. This is the phone field. We'll leave it like that. That's going to be contact name and company name. All right, so we're going to save that. So we're going to go ahead and choose what's the display field. We'll do company name, and we're going to start adding insurance companies. Okay, so company name, back, blah, 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 phone field, and email. So we added one. We're gonna add another one. Insurance. Oh, I would call it Lloyd here. Lloyd. We'll add a last one, just for sake. Desjardins. There we go. Oh, can't do that. See, it's telling me that I'm writing a bad phone number. All right, so we added 3 insurance company in your database, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add this as a choice for, here, we're gonna add the custom, where is it? Custom list field. Whoa. Okay, so what is your home insurance company? We'll do save. That's just an example. So we're gonna go ahead and go into my account here. We're gonna edit it, and then we're gonna choose, because now it's gonna ask me, what is your home insurance company? So we're gonna choose between the 3 companies that we've chosen. So we're gonna choose Intact. We're gonna go okay. So what you're gonna see here is that in this file here, there's Intact that shows up, but look what happens. It becomes a hyperlink, and when you click on it, you get the actual information of Intact Insurance. So you can actually email, call, because you can actually call direct. If you have IP phones, you can actually call directly from iProsper. You just click on any link and see it's asking me if I want to open up. Wait, I'm going to show you my desktop. You can see this. So basically, it's asking me if I want to open up this phone number with 3CX. So it opens up 3CX, and I can actually call directly. 1 second, it's just setting up. Because I have an IP phone, so basically, the IP phone allows me to have a 3CX an interface that allows you to interface between iProsper and your IP phone. So any phone number basically that you have in your system, see, it dialed it automatically. So we're gonna hang up because we don't want to dial this phone number. But basically, from iProsper, with anytime that you have a phone number that is written in the system, you can actually just click on it, and it will actually dial for you. So as you can see right now, so it's dialing my cell phone right now. It just rang. All right. So bottom line, so that's it. So this is to be able to save information into some choices that become a hyperlink. And why this is there is because sometimes you want to have information rapidly to be able to contact somebody or to know what's the information. So it could be a restaurant, it could be anything, but it just gives you a possibility to hyperlink, click on it, and get the information rapidly as a pop-up. So that's what this is, customized fields. So we use this a lot for different reasons. So for example, let's say you have a form that you're filling out, and in the form, you have a choice to choose from, and in that choice, you have some contacts that you have, and you can have all this information filled out so that when he chooses it, he can click on the hyperlink and see the information of that contact. So it's not meant for everybody or everyday use, but it's something that could come in useful for specific stuff that you could use. So that's pretty much it for that. And the last thing is, I'm just going to delete it. I don't need that. Delete. All right. So the last section of the admin section is actually the custom filters. This is super, super important. What it does is it allows you to be able to create certain rules that allow you to select certain criteria. So we're going to say we want to pull out all the people that live in Montreal. So clients from Montreal. So what we do is we added the new thing. Now we're going to add filters. What do we want to filter out? So we want to go into the city here. and then we say contains the word Montreal, and it gives you the companies that that contain the word Montreal. But you can also put Montreal with an accent, but you can add as many as you want. You can add this filter, and then we want all the people that are from Montreal, and let's say that have a tag called integrator, let's say. So as you see, there's only one. So it allows you to basically select criteria to be able to predefine specific contacts. So let's say I do this, and then I go back to organizer. I can actually use this filter to filter out information that I can view rapidly. So now you see in 1 second, I'm actually displaying all the customers that are from Montreal in one shot. And you see how fast that was. So same thing, you want to send out a mass mailing. Well, you can actually just choose your mass mailing and say, I want to send out a mass mailing to everybody that lives in Montreal. What's the title of it? This, that. We click, what's the email template? We use one that we did earlier. Boom, we do preview. That's good. We do send out. It sends out the email to all your customers that live in Montreal with their personalized name, phone number, and all that. So as you can see, it's very fast, very efficient. It's a lot better than how it used to be before when you had to do those things one by one. So I know there's a lot of people that still work like that, but with this, it just allows you to basically simplify your work, make it more efficient, and most of all, do a lot more with a lot less. So having situations where you have an assistant that is off work, well, that's a damn good example that that would have helped a lot, because your stuff are automized and you don't have to have all the knowledge and know where she puts stuff and where that form is or where that document is. Everything is all there. So it's pretty much just a question of going there and using it, and that's it. So so yeah, so that pretty much summarizes the usage of iProsper. We've pretty much went through all the different sections. We went fast, and there's a lot of stuff that basically is not something you use on a daily basis. But what's fun is that we have some advanced customization sessions that are more like a one-on-one or two-on-two, a one-on-two or whatever training that we could basically set you up. So we would say, okay, we do this. How do you do that? And then okay, perfect. We're gonna set that up this way because that's the good way to do it, and that's it. So those sessions are pretty interesting. I've done a lot for different companies that use iProsper, and it really makes a big difference to start the right way and to have the extra push to get you started. Because I think that's what has people stay in standstill, is that you don't know where to start, you don't know how to do it, what's the best way. So we have the expertise to know how it could be set up to be better used, and we're available to do that. So so that's it. So